Water is the most basic and essential resource for human survival, but most of this water is contaminated. Diseases like diarrhea, cholera, typhoid, dysentery are caused due to contaminated water. You check for the best school for your kids, the best apartment, the best doctor, but do you check the water from the faucet? Is that water safe to drink?
RO purifiers are essential because the water quality is deteriorating day by day. We are getting a lot of dissolved impurities in our drinking water. The rivers are contaminated with the influx of industries and even non-treatment of sewages. So in one city you get a waste of water and then it comes to the next city with all that water dissolved into the system. Even the best of the municipalities do not have a system to clean the water which is dissolved with dissolved impurities. Even if the municipalities are able to treat water and the water travels to a consumer house, it goes through pipeline, the ingress of waste can happen in that process. Then the pipelines can be rusted because you don't get a 24-hour water pipelines. They get empty and the rusting happens in that pipeline. Then let's again look at the water which travels to the overhead tank and then it travels to your pipeline network. All that process, the water can get contaminated and it does get contaminated. It gets contaminated with lead, it gets contaminated with rust, it gets contaminated with seepage of the sewer pipelines entering low pressure pipeline into the low pressure system. So all these impurities come which are dissolved impurities. Now they cannot be treated by any other method but RO purifier. And if you are not going to treat it with RO water purifier, then we'll have a more difficult situation of health issues. So I think it's important to have RO purifiers to protect the citizens of this country. We don't get sufficient supplies for municipalities, it's a recorded fact. Many towns, small towns, and even in big cities like Delhi, people have to rely either upon a tanker water or they have to rely upon a ground well water. Even tanker water comes from underground water. We have seen the salinity level, the TDS level goes as high as 2000 to 3000 level in many parts of Delhi. And obviously that water is not safe for drinking. This has already been said by code. But the real issue is even if the TDS of the water is less than 500, even then that water is not drinkable because TDS is only one parameter. Whereas there are other elements which are into parts per billion. Even a small amount of arsenic going up or fluoride going up or the pesticide going up, the TDS may remain within 500 grams, but the individual element may be much higher. So a consumer will have to rely on a method which can protect him for a long time. And that's where the people prefer to use an RO purifier. But I'll also like to put one important point out here. RO water purifiers are not only to reduce TDS of water or remove dissolved impurities, but it's also about taste of water. The water with high TDS, even if the TDS is within 500, does not taste good because it has a pinch of a salt in the water. And that pinch of salt if a consumer wants to remove, so nobody can force a consumer that please don't use a RO purifier.